So today, we're going to dive into a really powerful philosophy. It's a story that started with making cars in post-war Japan, but it has since completely changed the game for everything from coffee shops to greeting card companies. It's called lean management, and it all boils down to one simple, powerful idea: how to create way more value with a whole lot less waste. Let's see how it's done.
But before we can get to the solution, we've got to talk about the problem. And honestly, it's a problem that you and I see and feel every single day. We're talking about waste.
I mean, come on, you know the feeling, right? You're just standing there, checking your watch, maybe waiting for a coffee or stuck at a checkout. That time you spend just waiting, that is a classic textbook form of waste.
Or, hey, maybe you've seen the flip side of that coin. A barista, super busy, making batch after batch of espresso shots, thinking there's going to be a huge rush, and then it never comes. Those shots go bad, the milk gets cold, and all that effort, all those materials, just down the drain. Yep, that's waste too.
Okay, so this is the absolute key idea. In the world of lean, waste isn't just about the trash you throw in a bin. No, it's any activity, any material, any single second of time that doesn't add value from the customer's point of view. Think about it this way. If you, as the customer, wouldn't be happy to pay for that step or that item, it's waste. Simple as that.
So the big question is, how do we fight all this waste? Well, the answer is pretty incredible, and it's all in the origin story. You see, this whole philosophy, it wasn't dreamed up in some comfortable, fancy boardroom. Nope, it was forged out of sheer, absolute necessity during a time of crisis.
So, let's set the scene. Back in the early 20th century, you had Henry Ford. He perfected mass production. The idea was simple: make a ton of the exact same thing to drive the cost way down. Genius. But fast forward to post-World War II Japan. The economy was on its knees. Resources were incredibly scarce, and not many people were buying new cars. Toyota knew they couldn't just copy Ford. They couldn't afford to just churn out thousands of cars and hope they'd sell. They had to find a completely different, much smarter way to work.
And this right here, this is where the real magic happens. See, those huge limitations, the lack of money, the lack of materials, they actually became Toyota's greatest strength. It forced them to innovate. It pushed them to figure out how to be ridiculously efficient, how to use every single worker's skills to the max, and how to eliminate any and all excess.
So how did they actually do it? Well, they started by defining the enemy. They gave it a name, or actually 7 names, and they created this super practical framework so that anyone, anywhere, could learn to spot inefficiency. And here it is. This is the official hit list, and there's a great little acronym to help you remember it. TIMWOOD. You can think of these as the 7 deadly sins of inefficiency that lean thinking is always trying to hunt down and eliminate. Let's dig into a couple of these because they can be a little tricky. Okay, so take transportation and motion. Now, at first glance, you might think, hey, isn't that the same thing? But there's a really important difference. Transportation waste is about moving stuff, parts, products, materials, between different locations, like from one side of the factory to the other. But motion waste? That's about the unnecessary movement of people. It's the mechanic having to walk all the way across the workshop just to grab a wrench. Both are total time wasters, for sure, but you have to solve them in different ways.
All right, here's another pair that often gets confused. Overproduction is kind of the mother of all wastes. It's just making stuff before anyone has actually asked for it, which leads to piles and piles of inventory just sitting around. But overprocessing, oh, that one is much sneakier. This is when you do more work to a product than the customer actually values or will pay for. Think about adding fancy gold-plated hinges to a standard toolbox. Sure, it looks nice, but does the user actually care? Probably not. You've just wasted time and resources.
Okay, so now we've got our most wanted list, the 7 wastes. The question is, how do we actually get rid of them? Well, that's where the 4 core principles of lean come into play. These are the strategies, the actual weapons you use to fight back against TIMWOOD. And here they are. These are the 4 pillars that hold up the entire lean system: pull, one-piece flow, Takt, and 0 defects. And you'll see how each one is specifically designed to attack those 7 wastes we just talked about. First up, pull. This one is a total game changer. The old way was to push products out. You'd make 1,000 widgets based on a forecast, push them into a warehouse, and just hope they'd sell. A pull system flips that on its head. You do nothing until a real customer places an order. That order then pulls the product through the system. The restaurant kitchen is the perfect analogy.
They don't cook 50 steaks at the start of the night. Nope. They wait for your order to pull that steak onto the grill. It's the ultimate weapon against the waste of overproduction.
Next up is one-piece flow. The old way was to work in these big, clunky batches. You do step 1 on 100 items, then they'd all sit there, waiting. Then you do step 2 on all 100. One-piece flow says, stop that. The goal is to move just one single item smoothly from one step to the next with no interruptions. It's like a fast-flowing river, not a series of stagnant ponds. And this is so important because big batches are great at hiding problems. If you make 100 widgets and the very first one has a flaw, you might not find out until you've made 99 more with the same flaw. With one-piece flow, you spot it on the very next step.
Number 3 is Takt. It's a German word, and it basically means rhythm, or a beat, like a conductor's baton. So takt time is the rate at which you need to complete a product to meet customer demand exactly. If customers buy one of your products every 10 minutes, your takt time is 10 minutes. It becomes the heartbeat for the entire business, making sure you're not rushing and creating defects, but also not moving too slow and making customers wait.
And finally, zero defects. Now, this isn't just about having a quality inspector at the end of the line trying to catch mistakes. That's way too late. This is about building a culture and a process where errors are prevented from happening in the first place. And here's the radical part. When a problem is found, everything stops. The whole process. You find the root cause and you fix it right then and there to make sure that mistake can never, ever be passed downstream.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds great for a car factory, but does it really work anywhere else? Well, the answer is a huge yes. And to prove it, let's look at a fantastic and maybe pretty surprising example of how lean can transform literally any business.
Let's go back to the 1980s and talk about Hallmark, the greeting card giant. They had a massive problem. A problem that, when you hear it today, sounds completely unbelievable.
That's right. 2 full years. That's how long it took from the moment an artist had an idea for a card to the moment it actually hit the shelves in a store. Why? Because designs were being physically shuffled between different departments in different buildings, creating endless delays. It was a perfect storm of transportation and wasted time.
So what did they do? They applied lean thinking. They got rid of the departmental silos and grouped artists and writers together into small teams, or cells, all on a single floor. Then they did something brilliant. They put the production equipment right there on the floor directly below them. This simple change completely slashed the distance everything had to travel.
And the result? It was staggering. They took that production time from 2 years all the way down to just 3 months. It was a massive win that let them respond to trends faster than ever, and it's perfect proof that these ideas work far, far beyond the factory floor.
So, as we wrap this up, the core message here is that lean isn't just a set of tools for manufacturing. It's a mindset. It's a continuous quest to identify and eliminate anything that doesn't add value, so that you can focus all of your energy on what truly matters.
And that really leaves us with a final thought for you to take away. As you go about your day, start looking at the processes you're involved in, whether it's at your job or just making dinner at home. Where's the waiting? Where are the unnecessary steps? Where could you get rid of the waste to create more value with less effort? You might just be surprised at what you find when you start to think a little leaner.